changing your life one story at a time. This is the Chicken Soup for the Soul podcast with Editor-in-Chief Amy Newmark.
Hey, it's Amy Newmark with your daily dose of Chicken Soup for the Soul inspiration to make you simply happy. It's Wow Wednesday. And with Mother's Day a couple of weeks away, I want to share a couple of stories about two super moms who just couldn't stop, even when they were supposed to be enjoying those empty nester years. Both stories come from our new book, Chicken Soup for the Soul, Best Mom Ever. In the first story, Melissa Basinger Green describes a mother who has always put her kids first. Melissa remembers one time as a kid when she was being dropped off at school, and her mother called out to her and asked her to come back and open the door of their station wagon and then reclose it. Melissa didn't know why she had to do this until her mother picked her up at school with her hand wrapped in bandages and a splint on one of her fingers. She didn't want to tell Melissa what had happened that morning, that she had closed the car door on her mother's fingers, and that her mother hadn't wanted to upset her, so she had just calmly asked her to reopen the door. Melissa says that her mom protected her too when her father, who worked in the steel mills in Pennsylvania, went through 4 separate layoffs. Melissa's mother worked 4 jobs to keep food on the table. They lost their house anyway, and her mother made their move into a smaller house a lot less devastating than it could have been, keeping a smile on her face the whole time. Melissa's dad ended up becoming a security guard when the steel mill finally closed for good, and her mother kept working those extra jobs. One of them was as a newspaper reporter, and one night Melissa's mom fell on some wet steps, cutting open both knees, but refused to seek medical attention until she finished working on her story for the paper. Only then did she let her husband drive her to the hospital. The family went through many more trials, and Melissa's mother remained strong the whole time. And then her mom helped her through the worst thing of all. Melissa got married to a wonderful man who her mother had encouraged her to date, and then Melissa's husband was killed in a freak accident. Now, I need to explain that while Melissa was off leading her adult life, her mother hadn't been able to stop being a mother. She and Melissa's father had adopted several children who needed help and fostered several more. Melissa ended up falling in love with 2 of those foster children, 2 boys, and after she became a widow, she decided she would adopt them. Now, Melissa is technically a single mother, but not really, because her mother takes care of the boys while Melissa is at work. Melissa says that her mom is truly the super glue that has held the family together through so many challenges. In the same book, Sarah Hamaker tells us that her parents started taking in foster children when she was 12. 40 foster kids eventually passed through their home. Sarah says that even as a sarcastic and unappreciative teenager, she always knew something special was happening in their home. Sarah's mom ended up raising kids for half a century. She had started by having her own children, 2 girls and a boy, before her 25th birthday. Then 11 years later, along came a 4th child, and that was Sarah. And then during those years when Sarah should have been the last kid left at home, her mother started bringing in those foster siblings. They were all ages, from babies to teenagers, and they all needed a lot more than food and shelter. Sometimes those kids arrived in the middle of the night with nothing but the clothes they were wearing. The luckier ones had a few belongings stuffed into a black trash bag. All of them were frightened and lonely. Sarah's mother and father gave them love and security and the chance to experience what makes a place to live a home. Sarah's parents ended up adopting a couple of those kids, boy-girl twins 14 years younger than Sarah, meaning that her parents willingly extended their child-raising years to start again with preschoolers when Sarah was graduating from high school. Sarah talks about the kids who her mother saved from futures that could have been awful. There was the troubled 10-year-old boy who bounced back and forth from his mom's house to theirs, but now has a successful military career. There was the abused teenage girl who had started to make unwise choices, but after living with Sarah's parents became a nurse and even asked Sarah's father to walk her down the aisle when she got married. And there was the sexually abused 9-year-old girl who Sarah's mother saved who is married now with children of her own. Sarah says that her mother's example made her a much better mother herself. She is indeed an inspiration to all of us, and that's why I included her story in a book called Best Mom Ever. I'm Amy Newmark. Thanks for listening to the Chicken Soup for the Soul podcast today. Tomorrow is Thoughtful Thursday, and we're going to talk about moms again, but this time in the context of birthdays and who should really be getting all the attention on your birthday. If you want to learn more about the book that today's story was from, Chicken Soup for the Soul, Best Mom Ever, you can read all about it on our website, chickensoup.com. You can also sign up there to receive a free Chicken Soup for the Soul story every day. Just scroll down to the bottom of the page and click on Newsletter Sign Up. You'll see all the different ways you can receive free stories from us right to your email inbox.